Thank you very much, Grace. So first off, I actually want to ask to get your hands together for Grace because she's doing a great job as an MC here on the track. So thank you, Grace. So welcome everybody to my talk, my tale about continuous delivery. So what is continuous delivery? You have plenty of definitions. Each and every one of you in the room probably has his own definition of continuous delivery. So I picked one by Martin Fowler. Everybody knows Martin Fowler, of course, I think. So he says continuous delivery is a software development discipline where you build software in such a way that the software can be released to production at any time. It's not like it should be released to production at any time, but that the possibility is there. So, and I'm going to talk a bit about CI, CD, and what this meant for Atlassian, and how we implemented this. So, why should we be doing CD? Is it only for unicorn companies, or only for Googles and Facebooks? No, it's for everybody. And it's to help you get out of some emotional roller coaster. So, who here loves roller coasters? Okay. Who here loves a roller coaster every single day of your life? Every hour of every single day of your life? Nobody, come on. Okay. No. So, that's how it feels if you do CD, CI, without any tooling. If you have to manually release every single day, for example, that's crazy. And then we talk about the emotional cycle of manual delivery. And it feels like a roller coaster. You start at the plateau of oblivious. You're like, I'm working towards my release, I'm coding, I'm having fun with my colleagues, I'm playing a ping pong game, if you have a ping pong table, whatever. And yeah, there's a target ship date. We'll get there eventually. Suddenly the ship date is there, and you're not done. So you'll have the cliff of urgency. Oh no, my God, we have to work late and weekends, and then whew, it's out. We have released, and now we're happy, and we have a peak of jubilation, and we have a release party, and then it's back to the value of complacency. This is nice if you only do it like twice a year. But if you want to release frequently, or daily, or whatever, this is going to be crazy. So, this is actually still my old slides, so this gets like this, whatever. Faster, 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 and you're going to be crazy. We want to make this obsolete. We want to remove it totally. So, what did we do at Atlassian? What did we start doing? Well, we're agile, so we took a good look at what we were doing. We did a retrospective, and we took a look at our tooling. And we started with Bitbucket. We were like, okay, let's put all of our code in a single location. Let's put it all in Git. Let's put it all in Bitbucket Server and Bitbucket Cloud. So it's actually 2 locations, but still. And then it gave us all the advantages of, well, we have an enterprise-level hosting. We can host it all. We know where it is. We can branch it. So who here is actually using branches? Wonderful. So you have feature branches, you have hotfix branches, you have bugfix branches, you have I don't know which kind of branches, whatever. But those branches allow you to keep your code separate. So you can be working on a feature branch and you're not going to impact anybody else. But if you want, you can deliver this feature branch really, really fast. So that's a bit already CI/CD. And you can pull it. So you can host it, branch it, pull it in Bitbucket. So you use pull requests. Who here uses pull requests? Okay. Who uses approvers in the pull requests? Great. So you can have, yeah, like, check out the code, you can review it, people should approve it, you can have actually even build requirements for your approvals before you can merge, and then you can simply merge it back. And because you know you're working on your feature branch, it's small changes of code, it's not like 10,000 lines of code you changed, you should normally not have any merge conflicts. And if you have them, you pull your master into your feature branch first, solve them, and then you pull it back. So that's the first step. So now we can manage our code, we can manage the different code, we can map the code on our different issues, on our features, on our hotfixes, on our bug fixes. But that's not CI, that's not CD. So we took a next step. We went to Bamboo, and we started using build plans. So yeah, I'm talking about Bamboo because, well, it's our tool, but you can use Jenkins or any other build server. And we use build plans to automate the actual build and the actual testing of our code. So I used to be a Java developer. I used to build end scripts and then run code manually and run tests manually, and it took a long time, and then I had to fix it. So I didn't like it. So in Bamboo, it's all automated. I get my results. It's easy, it's simple. I get my feedback, and if it fails, I can directly see which tests failed or which build failed. So, but if you're working with all of those branches, so you have like feature branches, you have hotfix branches, you have maybe release candidate branches, developer branches, it's going to be tricky. And also, if you have to build plan and you don't want to go to Bamboo and every time click on start the build. No, you want to have it triggered on commit. So again, we automated it, so every commit triggers a build plan, triggers a build. And we have a build per branch. So we use plan branches in Bamboo, which allowed us to create a master build plan, and then automatically for every new branch we discover within our repository, we create a copy of this build plan, and it will run against the code in this branch. So if you commit to a feature branch, it will run all your tests. It will run your entire suite if you want, and give you results back specifically for your feature branch. And you will see these results also in your Bitbucket server, in Jira, so you can always see what's the impact of my code on our tests. And you don't have to manually create different build plans for each of your branches. And there's more. You can actually merge those branches automatically back together using Bamboo. So we have two merging options. One is called branch updater, which is the one I mostly use. And it's actually allowing my feature branches to be always up to date with my master branch by simply, anytime when there's a commit on master, they will automatically merge this commit onto my feature branch, run a build, I'll get the test results, and I'll see, okay, my feature branch is still up to date, I haven't broken anything yet, and when I'm going to do pull requests to get my feature branch into master, I know it will be successful. The other one is called Gatekeeper, and that actually allows me to, if I have a feature branch and it's a successful build, it will automatically be merged into another branch. This could be master, this could be a developer branch, whatever you choose. So this allows me to work locally, do some commits, then push it to the repository, and it's automatically gone, if it's a successful build. But of course, then you really need to trust your tests. So write those tests first. And then, okay, now we have our code repository, we have our CI, because we get continuous information, we get continuous integration, we're doing continuous testing on all of our branches. We can update them, those kind of things. So we're almost there, but we're not delivering yet. We're not being able to deliver automatically whenever we want, whatever we want. So I started using deployment projects. Who here is using deployment projects in Bamboo? Less people than build plans, so everybody else, start using them. Why? Because in deployment projects, we can create multiple environments. You can define a development environment, you can define a QA environment, you can define a staging environment, a production environment, or whatever environment you want. And you can define how to deploy your binaries, which were created by your build plans, onto these environments. You can have your configuration there, you can have you can select which binaries you want to deploy, which versions you want to deploy, which results from which build plans you want to deploy, either from feature branches, for hotfix branches, for any of those different kinds of branches. And this allows you to automate this. So the thing is, we always want to make it as fast as possible, as automated as possible, and with as less bottlenecks as possible. So these are triggered on success. By the way, does anybody recognize this picture? It's here in Barcelona. It's Sagrada Familia inside. I was thinking about something that's being built slowly but successfully. So those deployment plans, again, can be triggered automatically on a successful build of a plan. So for example, if your master build is successful, you can automatically deploy it to your development environment, or even to your production environment if you're really confident. But we can also say, well, okay, it's a successful deployment to my dev environment, now deploy it to my QA environment, and then maybe once a day at night deploy it to our staging environment. and we're only going to deploy it manually to our production environment. But the thing is, you can also easily roll back, because you can also say, like, OK, now I want to select another version and put it back on our environment. So for example, if your developer environment is already 10 releases ahead, because you're doing continuous delivery, so you have lots and lots of releases, and your production environment has a problem, you can actually select the version that's currently on production, automatically deploy it on your development environment, test the problem, fix it on your development environment, put it back onto production, all through Bitbucket and Bamboo. So, and if you mix all of this together, and if you automate the hell out of it, you get magic. You get sparks flying around. You can actually go from commit to production in a single click. The one you do when you commit your changes, and everything else can be automated. But you have to trust your tests. So that's nice. That's behind the firewall. But that's not why most of you are probably here, because Sven mentioned that I'm going to talk about something else. So I want to do one more thing. Bitbucket pipelines. I was searching for a picture of pipelines, and it was all like oil pipelines and stuff. I didn't like it, so I was like, this is more colorful. This is cool. So again, Bitbucket Cloud, you can host it. As you can see, you have all of your commits there. You have your branches there. Who here is actually using Bitbucket Cloud at the moment? Go start using it. You can just get it for free for your own projects if you want. So it has almost all the features of Bitbucket Server. It has great plugins. All of your sources there. You can do requests, different repositories. You can do pull requests. You can do branches. And now you can also build your code. I love Lego, so I always try to get a Lego slide into my presentation. So now, if you do go into Bitbucket Cloud and you activate the pipelines add-on, you get something like this. And every time you commit, on every single commit, we will build your code. We will run the different steps you define within your Bitbucket Pipelines YAML file. And you will get nice logs, which you can click open. If there's a problem, they will automatically be opened, and the problem will be highlighted. And you will see all the results of these builds everywhere in Bitbucket Cloud. So not only in the build line, but also on your commits, on your pull requests. All of those things are integrated. And all in Bitbucket Cloud. And you can deploy it. We have already several integrations with, for example, AWS, NPM, Browser Stack, JFrog Active Directory, Testary, and many more. And so you can deploy your code directly to any of those places. So if you have like a Node.js module, you can directly deploy it into NPM, straight from Bitbucket Cloud. So you don't have to go anywhere else. You can do it all within the cloud, all within Bitbucket Cloud. But that's not all. I'm going to show you a video now. So I used to be a Java developer, so I used to be a big Spring Source fan, so I'm using the Spring Source Pet Clinic example. Who here knows this one? Yeah, some people. Wonderful. So what is this? I'm currently, you can see I have the Atlassian 2015 header still there. This is my production environment. It's a Tomcat running on AWS, and I'm going to change this. So I want to go make it 2016. And I'm going to do this completely in Bitbucket Cloud using pipelines. I'm going to Bitbucket. I'm going to show you my YAML file first. So this is the Bitbucket Pipelines YAML file. There we go. And as you can see, I have a default build. I have my branches. So I have a master build, which does a couple of steps, and which will deploy to a production URL. And I have my feature branches, and these will automatically deploy to a development URL. So the production URL, developer URL, they're actually not defined in my code. They're defined in Bitbucket Pipelines environment settings, environment variables. So you don't, for example, also my password and my usernames are actually not in my code. They're not in my source repository. They're defined somewhere else. So this is my development environment, Atlas Cam Dev. And I'm now going to create a feature branch, because we always want to create feature branches. We're not just going to change master because I'm not that great of a developer. So let's create a feature branch. Again, I'm going to do everything inside Bitbucket Cloud. So it's easy. Click it, give it a name, create. There we go. Now, if you want, you can check this out using Source3 or using your favorite Git client and work on it in your machine. And then you can commit locally and then push it to Bitbucket Cloud again, and then it will build. But because it's a simple change, I'm simply going to change it directly in here with our online editor. So I'm going to the right branch. I'm going to now the message and properties file, which contains the welcome message. So there we go. Simply clicking edit. I'm going to change from 2015 to 2016. This is hardcore coding. Really, this is really, really difficult for me. No. Let's commit it. And then as soon as we commit this, a build will start. So there we go. I'm not going to create a pull request yet. So that's it. It's committed. Now we go to pipelines, and we'll see that a build is currently already running for it. So it's automatically, and we can see it's setting up our Docker image. So you can use Docker images. Any public available Docker image you can use in pipelines. We just pull them in, we deploy them, and then we start running your code on the image. So if you ever own Docker images, this is really easy. You can see that I'm actually using the feature branch plan, and not the master or the default. I'm exporting my def URL now to an environment variable within my Docker container, so I can actually use it in my POM file to deploy to my Tomcats. So now you can see all the logging. You will see that we're running tests. You can see the test results in the log files. If the test fails, this will actually stop. It will be a broken build, and you will see which test has failed. Now I'm going to deploy it. Well, I'm going to undeploy the previous version and then redeploy the next version on AWS. But of course, you can do this on any web application server that's publicly reachable on the internet. So I'm using a Tomcat deployed in AWS, but you can use your own JBoss ones, your own WebSphere ones, whatever you want. Or any other tool. If it's available, if you can reach it from the internet, you can reach it from Bitbucket Pipelines. And you can deploy to it, you can do stuff on it. So as you can see, it's sometimes pulling in code. And there we go. We have a successful build. So now we should be able to go to our, let's first check our production environment. So that's production that still says 2015. Now let's go to our development environment. That should now hopefully say 2016. There we go. So that's all automated. It's all working perfectly. So that's wonderful. Our feature branch works. So now I want to get this to my master branch and into production. Again, I'm still working in Bitbucket Cloud. I'm creating a pull request. I'm not going to ask for approvers because I'm the only one in this project, so I'll just merge it and I'll trust myself. And I'm also going to close the feature branch afterwards because I no longer need it. So there's the pull request. And as you can see the different build results over there. So you can see there's a successful build for this commit. For this feature, for this pull request, well, let's merge it. So again, merge message, close the source branch once more. There we go. And now this is again going to trigger a build. But this is going to trigger the master build because we defined different types of build in our YAML file. So let's go back to pipelines. And again, as you can see, it's already in progress. Again, setting up the build now is building the master branch. It's using our production URL. So after this, I'm going to show you how those environment variables actually work. So you can define your environment variables within Bitbucket Cloud. So you don't have to put them into your source code. So you don't have to put passwords and stuff like that into your source code. And they don't get mentioned in your log files. So you can keep them a secret. So if you have AWS authentication keys, or if you have usernames and passwords you need to use, you can keep those as environment variables, and nobody will actually be able to read them. Not even if they have access to your project, they will be able to read them because they're hidden even to the admins. Once you tie them in, they're hidden for everybody. So building, building, building. It's always nice to look at, especially if it's just some code that's happening. There we go. So you can see the test results. The 59 tests run, no failures, wonderful. It's one of the reasons why I actually used this project, because it already had built-in tests. And there we go, it's successful. So now we should be able to go to production and see the change with it. I know it's a really small example, and I think you can all come up with more interesting and better example, but it's just to show what pipelines can do. And now, environment variables. So you go to settings, you go to pipelines, you can see environment variables. And you can simply add your variable name, variable value, and if you want it to be hidden, you select secured. And that's it. That's how pipelines work. That's, again, from commit to production in a single click. So that's all nice, whatever, but how did this actually help us within Atlassian? It gave us fast reaction times. We could react faster on external and internal stimuli. So if there was suddenly a big problem in production, we could easily get the production environment running on dev, fix it there, release a hotfix. We could pick and choose which feature branches which features we wanted to use. Because we know all of our feature branches are always up to date with master, we can easily merge them in. And then we can pick and choose which ones we use. We actually sometimes use feature flags. So the features are actually already there in the code out in production, but not yet available. Or they're like part of our labs. So those kind of things, it helped us to be able to react faster on requests of our of developers, on internal changes, those kind of things, and on production problems. It helped us to reduce risk. Because everything is automated, it will always happen exactly the same way. There's no manual process, there are no steps you have to remember. And then if this one person who can do all of these steps is on a holiday or he or she wins the lottery, I don't like the bus story, and so then they're gone and you have a problem. You have a bottleneck. If it's all automated, the risk is reduced. Also, you know all your tests are always running on all of your feature branches, so you know everything is working. Or if it's not working, you will immediately get feedback about it. So you won't be deploying as much faulty code. And if there's a problem with your deployment, you can easily roll back, or you can easily find it because it's only going to be like a small release. So it's only a small amount of code that changed. It helps expose inefficiencies and costs. If you are able to release every day, if you want to be able to release every day, you need to minimize your release process, to find those bottlenecks, to find those hidden costs and remove them. And it gives you flexible release options. Like I said, you can pick and choose which features you want to release. You know all of your feature branches are always up to date. They help you. You can say, okay, now we can also start rolling out those features to a number of people, especially in our cloud. We can say, like, we roll out this feature already to 25% of our users and see how they react, and then we roll it out gradually to the other ones, because you can select where you're going to deploy. You can use feature flags to automatically start or stop those features. All those kind of things are now easily done because everything is automated, everything is automatically tested. You have your continuous integration, continuous delivery. So, and now I want you guys to go out there and make magic. I want you to go out there and try this one. Try it for your company. Start doing automated testing, start doing continuous integration, start doing continuous delivery or deployment, not to production per se, but maybe to your deployment environment, to your development environment, just to get the ball rolling, to find those hidden costs, to remove those hidden costs, and to also get your risks down, to feel more secure that when you're working on a feature, it's going to be working in production every single time you deploy a feature. So that's it. If you have any more questions about this, find me. Thank you.
Thank you.